Hi, this is me. I'm a little behind, but I'm not having a very good productive day today. So I thought might as well do a little bit of a get ready with me and talk about my ADHD. Talk about my ADHD and how that impacts my life. So, this is kind of my face. I'll do my hair later. I'll figure it out. I like to do my hair later. Just gonna give it a bit of a brush. Like I said, I'm not having a very productive day, and I was diagnosed late with ADHD at 22 years old. 22 years old. About a week after college. And, yeah. Yeah. I suspected something was wrong. Well, it's not like there's something wrong with ADHD, but I suspected that something was going on here. I'm gonna move this because I don't know where to put my I don't know where to put my phone. Just gonna hold it like that. So yeah, that's partly why. That's a major reason why Daria procrastinates. It's a major reason why Daria has a lot of issues getting things done, issues talking with people, etc., etc. And I need to get started on my little artistry series, but that I just keep not filming for some reason. Anyway, my ADHD. So, growing up, I think I had a series of mental health issues, like anxiety. I definitely had anxiety as a kid that was misdiagnosed. I've always been quite an anxious person. Yeah. People always would diagnose me as being some kind of neurodivergent. But at the time it would offend me because like who are you who do you think you are to tell me what I'm doing? But anyway, my ADHD story, pretty much my senior year, some friends were like, "Oh, Daria, you definitely have ADHD." And like a lot of my friends I started noticing all have some kind of ADHD or neurodivergence. So I was like, oh my god, this is getting a little weird. Why are most of my friends diagnosed with ADHD? It was at the beginning I like didn't care, but it was just like every other person, and then the people who I really had a hard time getting along with, quote unquote popular people, or I guess neurotypical people at the time. Still do, not at the time. And oh god. Like, yeah, it's just I've had so many instances in my life where it's just like no shit. I had a hard time with classes that I was not really per se interested in. Well, interested isn't the right word. Sometimes I would be interested. Like the STEM subjects, for example, I find chemistry and I find math and I find it all interesting, but I just wasn't really good at it. It was so difficult for me, like so difficult. Oh, I'm just gonna put some white in the corner of my. By the way, because I'm rambling and looking into my phone, this is not exactly how I do my makeup. I'm just kind of all over the place. Oh, which is another thing. I'm just all over the place all the time. I have a really hard time organizing my stuff. If I don't want to show you, but my makeup and all my stuff and everything, all my cosmetics are nowhere in order where they're supposed to be. And oh my god, this may be a dangerous thing if I don't have a mirror. Yeah, so I never could. Symptoms that I've noticed growing up: everybody could keep planners, everybody could set goals and try to accomplish them, but Daria always had a really hard time sticking to a plan, sticking to stuff. And it's like, whenever I would try to do something, I mean, I knew this, but like, I would be like in my head daydreaming, thinking about all other things, like making jokes in my head, everything basically that's not related to what needed to be going on. And like, oh Daria, oh young Daria, I feel so bad for you. I'm not medicated at the moment because I'm trying to see with my therapist how it manifests in my daily life, so I can take notice when I do get medicated about what exactly has changed. So that's another thing. So organization, rambling, my thoughts are all over the place. I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time. I have a really hard time gathering my thoughts together. I've failed classes that even I was good at. It's just because when things were out of sight and I didn't need to do them, I wouldn't. I would wait till the absolute last minute. I would have really bad time blindness, procrastination, failing classes, like I said, even in subjects that I was quote unquote good at, but I just couldn't get my shit together sometimes. And it's really sad that I have to be admitting this to the internet right now. Yeah, this is a very easy daily makeup. Oh my god. I see what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know where anything is at the moment. Oh my god. Yeah, and honestly, like, for me, a major factor was also, oddly, my relationship with food. I didn't really realize that it came hand in hand with this one, but because I couldn't regulate my dopamine, I would always be chasing that kind of sugary thing. Not even sugar, it's just I was always chasing for some kind of dopamine, and I guess I think I haven't. I messed this video up. It was gonna be a trigger, but I wanted to talk about eating disorders and all that. But I think a major point for me was that was one of the ways that I could try to control I was trying to control not only my reality but my brain. I'm just putting some light white parts. Please, beauty gurus, do not come after me. This is just a very light, everyday, daily makeup. Yeah, my relationship with food, my overall relationships with people, like, honestly, sorry, I don't always know how to react. I sometimes can't read social cues very well. Maybe that's not just ADHD, but like I would always accidentally start talking over people. And not that I want to be rude. I also sometimes I would be paying attention. This is just maybe a me thing, but I would kind of look like I wasn't paying attention, but I knew I was paying attention. Anybody else do that? I don't know. But yeah, my ADHD. So my ADHD definitely, because I don't know why as a child I was just so triggered, and I would have like these crash outs when I couldn't get things done because I knew what I needed to be doing. Like, I knew I needed to sit and do my homework, but I physically would sit for hours and hours on end and I couldn't do it. And then sometimes in classes, I would just be so exhausted and so sleepy. Like, I couldn't do anything about it and I didn't know why. But this has just been a pattern throughout my entire life, and I didn't know why until a week after graduating from college. And I honestly, part of me kind of wishes I took maybe a gap year in college, because here, I'm gonna try to do this. Maybe I think being in the real world is so important. I think being in the real world is incredibly important, especially with someone like ADHD, because transitions are not easy, and maybe it would have prepared me. I don't know why. This is a conversation for another day about college, because I wanted to make a video about how maybe school, and I kind of regret going to college. Not everything, but parts of it. But anyway, with my ADHD, I always felt like a failure. I felt like I sometimes just wouldn't understand. I knew I would come back from classes and I would tell friends that, like, I think there's something wrong with my brain. And I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know what I could do about it. And my parents didn't understand. Nobody really understood. Well, my mom kind of knew something was going on, but see, people don't believe in ADHD from where they're from, or they're for their age, but my mom kind of knew. Yeah. It's still a really big factor in my life, because I feel like there's just some days I'm just so, like, I'm really tired. Like, that's my symptom. That's how I deal with it. Like, I get really exhausted. I get really tired. And I know maybe that's iron deficiency, but things get really overwhelming for me. It's like I always have to pretend. I always have to put extra energy and pretend to be someone I'm not at social gatherings. And I'm so concentrated. This is so funny. I never thought I'd be doing this. Just a little diary. I was editing something today, and it's just triggering me about looking at myself too, because it just puts me back when I was a kid in classes dealing with my weight insecurities, the way that I looked insecurities, and just a bunch of insecurities that I've had. And I think a huge reason why I couldn't deal with them properly is because I didn't have the resources, and I had this undiagnosed ADHD diagnosis. So, I don't know. This is my really easy, really quick daily. Oh my goodness, my daily makeup and hair tutorial. I can't believe I'm putting this up on the internet, but it's here. It's not really a tutorial, it's just a get ready with me. I just wanted to chat about ADHD a little bit. So yeah. Need some blush. Doesn't look too bad, because I didn't have a mirror. Not too bad. But, oh! Woo! Yeah. 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 I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I know, but life doesn't get easier, so. Life does not get easier. And I wish I could just give my younger self a hug. I wish I could just give my younger self a hug. And I'm gonna get going now because this was not worth my time. But here we are.